Diego's the immortal VP.
Naku, lakad mo tatang, lakad mo tatang!
Normally. Pulse and the ag shot on Bloodseeker. Yeah, it seems very difficult. So this gives you team fight. They do not really have instant stun, and I think that is always the to the Enigma as the game goes on. But how are you feeling about this draft? I'm not one. Well, James is gonna feed over first blood to X3, so you'd love to give this over to your carry, and it looks like Monkey King's gonna pick that one up.
I'm just getting started.
He's farming patterns throughout the jungle, but do you feel like there's any ways that can really slow him down?
Oh, sorry, bot side, they're able to connect with a shackle shot, but looks like Enrink will be able to maybe get away. Never mind.
No, he's not going to get away at all. And now Bruce should be able to close the distance. 2 points in clap, but Retrograde with the body blocks will be able to hold them back.
Pulse here on the Void Spirit as opposed to the Dissimulate. I'm not sure how big of a fan of that I am, just because you know that Keeper's going to be constantly spamming those Illuminates. You want to pull down as possible.
He's going to go down Retrograde. I don't think he can win this trade as well. He's going to try and TP out. Do they have the damage?
You're always going to have this recovery period as long as you skill accordingly, right? He's gone a farm-heavy build. A couple points in the Boundless, couple points into the Jingu, but
top lane, mass TPs.
The
Brewmaster's got the ultimate to play with. They can't control squad. Like Shotchler will be the next easier pickings for them. And even off to the side, they're trying to target down James as well, but a quick read of the TP. There will be no way to counter that. Maybe BZZ should be an easier kill though. Win run still available. SMN doesn't have the overgrowth just yet as well, but the win run's not going to get too much distance away. So the Natty Narwhal pushes it back into the Dagon burst, but squad wants to show up to the party, taking the fight by the secret shop, posturing with the attempt at dropping the black hole to maybe bring down the Brewmaster.
He's already got the Wraith pack, so
top lane, they're going to jump.
Right.
See if the burst going to be enough. James doesn't have the maxed out combo just yet, and oh, they're going to get out. James should be able to TP, although the overgrowth is going to stop him in his tracks, and now the Dagon rips apart another target.
You've hit this BKB, you've hit your level 18. X3 are like, all right, let's get some kills. Let's kill people with our insane lead.
Look at the Coddle that can connect as well through the lane. Onto the Titan, there they go. An easy pick off as James giving another bounty over to X3. Now, what can they get out of the kill?
Each creep's going to help with the push. Looks like Weaver, for now, wants to be the one that deals with that, and he's even going the Gleipnir as well. I actually really like this build. Just more stuff that's going to lock
might be in trouble.
Targets.
Ooh, they missed the overgrowth, they missed the Boundless, and meanwhile, they've run into the Brewmaster. Empire, okay, that looked like it was a rupture into toss back, a decent amount of damage, and now look at the Gale Force as well for a little bit extra synergy.
They're going to try and pick off this Weaver here. It's so hard, though. He's so tanky.
You've got the Scepter now, so with the double silence, that should be enough to lock him in place. Even the Wraith pack, a little bit of tick damage. You'll get everything desired. 2 pickoffs across the map, and this giving more time for Empire. Which, all from Team Empire is just avoid fights, split the map. That's all we can do right now.
This is what I feel like they should have been doing a while ago.
Going to be off the mark, but now Brewmaster going to try and charge him with the Primal Split. James just getting ripped apart. It's an early BKB forced out, and he's going to answer the rupture with his own Wukongs as well. So Nesfear should be protected for the moment. BCC trying to enter fight once again, but Empire actually want to take this as Retrograde's going to charge inside the Wukongs.
Nice
the
overgrowth.
Bashes are raining in, but it will not matter. It's Retrograde. Now he gets a little bit of life still back, but Squad's going to be cautious as well. Atos holding him in place, but it will not matter as Empire. They still have the black hole to work with if they can catch anyone out. This ward on the backline proving to be an issue for X3.
This guy.
They're going to try and make the attempt. He's closer to T1 tower as well, but the TPs, they're not even going to come. It doesn't even matter. They blow him up. Empire. Sean, they got plenty of damage, and now they're going to look to set up top as well. Overgrowth, it's about to be back up, and they're scouting out Chargelo as well. Opportunity for the BKB. It's going to turn with the black hole. Where's the counter? There it's coming through from the Overgrowth, and now Monkey with the double damage, just ripping apart one hero after the next as Retrograde gets brought down with ease. Squad, he wants to jump in though. Recognizing a lot of the control has... Oh, and what the heck? Enric just... This Gale Force and Sakuchi not gonna help out for Enric, but it will not matter. Shackles actually holding back Nesfi for the moment, but now with the Brewmaster showing up, and I don't really think there's much Empire can do. You got the Black Hole on cooldown, and Dire, when they get the Brewmaster ultimate out, they can just swarm into Empire's territory. So 2 for nothing, and this should give up Roshan now.
Doing their best to stall things out again. You know, Enigma pushing in the top side with his Eidolons. The important thing is, though, he's not actually there to soak up a lot of the experience from it. He's going to walk. He knows that he doesn't influence a Roshan take attempt at all. He's going to find the key target, the one that could potentially turn around one of these high ground engagements, and well, you're going to get a free kill plus the Roshan.
They're setting up bottom lane as well. They're going to have some issues dealing with Squad. Overgrows out. They have the Abyssal Blade, actually. The chain control has to be perfect with the Boundless Strike afterwards. And it looks like it is... let's say awkward timing with the pause.
Just the 1G, though, not the 2. That's the important thing.
Okay, good. I like the way you're looking at that. They give the Gemmo...
Comes out of this one, so... just continue to push on forward.
Dude, it's way too much damage.
Yeah, overwhelming damage.
Once again, cycling up the Tiny. Squad's gonna try and jump, but there's no buyback opportunity. And now with the Tiny falling down to the depths as X3 find their 24th kill of the game. And
this is a meat grinder.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Going in one at a time for not much obtained. And, you know, when you're going to go first pick Enigma, you kind of need to address this possibility. Inside the base and hitting tier 4s.
It's going to force them to split now on Empire, so they're going to lose their vision advantage to play around, and Enigma, if he goes down, that's the fight. He's got the buyback to be able to play with. We're controlling an area once again. Retrogrades onto the backline, but Bloodseek has no one else nearby. Hasn't even found the perfect opportunity to use the BKB. I mean, well, look at the Brew. Look at the Brewmaster hitting tier 4 towers, cycling up heroes, just being an absolute menace. As now the rest of X3 can get inside the base of Empire. One more fight left in them. A buyback gonna come through from Retrograde. He's onto the Monkey King. Retrograde's doing a decent amount of damage at the moment. James gonna be able to follow suit as well with a toss back Chargelo. Considering the Black Hole, the Midnight Pulse doing a decent amount of damage. Is it enough? There we go. Black Hole at the last second, but it's like Throne's just gone. Throne is gone. And in the end, X3, that's a dominant way to kick off our third tour.
That's a team that's been playing together a whole lot more than Empire. It just felt like they were on the same page the entire time. There were 2 or 3 instances where Empire had that small window to potentially make a play. I mean, we saw what happened with the win probability. It went back up to 20-odd% after what was a horrible start for them, but they just didn't take advantage of it.
Considering
literally everything except the clockwork makes me think this would be a great Phoenix game, but they're going to go the Underlord. I mean, the Lesh is the thing that I'm concerned about, right? Like, there is going to be a lot of damage being laid out. They're all moving out into the lane with the use of this Observer Ward. James?
Oh, let's go. 5 on 5. Run him down, boys. Run him down. Benjamin to start. Chargelo. Oh, look at the damage ramping up. Wait, hang on. Ember Spirit. Natty Narwhal's getting ripped apart. A couple more right clicks with the tree throwers. Empire are able to find first blood. Now we've got the 4 on 4 as Empire. They don't want to continue chasing X3, not into their side of the map, and especially with a tower that they can rally around.
The issue of not the greatest tower hitters on X3. Meanwhile, you've got a Visage, a Leshrac, and a Tiny, as well as an Abaddon to be able to accelerate that off of the back of a successful team fight.
So Empire
James. Really have that space.
One more right click. Can anyone get it? Nesfear gonna try and go under with the Sakuchi. James gets enough bonus health back, and meanwhile mid lane. Hang on a second, Squad. He's going to be brought down under the T1 tower, so a great rotation from Enring combined with Natty.
Yeah, you know, didn't have the highest damage or anything, but you're a pos 5 win ranger. Bot lane, Shachlo. Again, James, really nice positioning to be able to stop this aggression from coming through. And look at what happens with the fact that you've got the longer cooldown on the Shukuchi. It means that you can make those turnarounds happen. So James doing a great job so far for this lane.
Definitely the one of the big weaknesses. Being aggressive, taking up damage, and then Shachlo can continue spamming up the soul assumption, which he has a second point in. So SMN, are they going to consider the dive under the tower? It looks like that will be the case, but James, it'll cost him his life. He's unable to deal with the bugs. Shachlo kind of has to deal with them as well. He's got to be cautious because Nezfir has a third point up in the Shukuchi now. Meanwhile, top lane though, with the Underlord trying to man-fight BZZ, but the Firestorm soon to expire, so Retrograde and BZZ in conjunction together is able to bring down the position 3 on X.
He's got 2 points in the Leech Seed, where previously he was 1-1-3. Still has a point left to be able to use, but I wonder how he's going to allocate it, right? Are they just all in focusing on Shachlo with the
James?
The
deep dive under the tower mid. What? Some crazy shenanigans going on. James was looking to offer some space for the Leshrac, but SMN and Rink gonna be lacking the damage as soon as BZZ is able to step over. Hang on, bottom lane, Shachlo, if it gets a solo kill into the carry on X3, they're continuing to chase, but Squad steps in, finds the double stun. He doesn't have too much mana nor health to play with. It's gonna be really reliant onto BZZ to keep the Leshrac alive. Can't even do it. Needs a couple more Pulse Nova ticks. He will not get it, unfortunately. Now even with the Underlord showing up to the party, he's got the Firestorm to help out into BZZ, but hang on a second, Retrograde, he pops out to the other side as well, so Underlord's like, alright, I don't want to be here no more, let's go back across the map.
Response to the Visage that just never ended up working out.
Management's going to hold back Squad for the moment, but he does have BZZ nearby. Look at the Firestorm and the damage it's dealing, but they'll turn it back around. As soon as Squad is able to get the sustain out, they can't deal with the Leshrac, and now they're charging on forward for more. Retrograde jumps in. Now Enrink's going to be the next on the agenda, but a forced to reposition. The Shadow Demon gets out of harm's way, but man, Empire. Another thing is
he's getting caught out. I was just saying, sorry, that if Empire clump up and you hit a 5-man overgrowth, then this can work out well. So I'm just watching Retrograde start to take
Squad. They're actually going to take the fight. BKB moving over to the Leshrac. A lot of sustains coming out thanks to BZZ, but it will not matter. Now towards the Visage they go. Shachlo's in a bit of trouble, but Retrograde jumps in the middle. All the cleave and the AoE combo. It's not enough to get rid of the Weaver. A time lapse to the last second. Retrograde still playing with the Aegis advantage, almost killing off Enring through the first life. Can they set themselves up for round 2 though? X3, they gotta get out. Retrograde jumps behind the remnant of the T2 towers, able to find Enric. Now they might be eyeing up the Underlord as well. Not enough mana for the hook shot. They will not dive the T4 towers. Objective-based gaming is Empire.
Might be in a bit of trouble here.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
I guess BZZ's positioning has always been on point.
Fiend's gaining to block off one of the escape avenues. James's TP is going to be cancelled. Underlord's even hunting for another pickoff as well. It's not as easy to bring down the Abaddon. The decent way to be able to start the fight. Weaver might be in trouble for the moment. Chain control is going to be off the mark once again. Enring though, oh no, you got to get out. You got to get out. You can't man fight Retrograde with a double damage. Look at the damage. Oh my god, might just tweet the Weaver. Time lapse to the last seconds, able to reposition. Now with the BKB wasted from Retrograde, but he's just waiting for the blink. Patience from Tiny in the wings. Now he jumps in the river, gets the crits. Bye-bye Natty Narwhal. But Nezfir is still considering to take the fight, but as soon as you see BZZ holding hands with Retrograde, there is no way the Weaver can turn that one back around. X3, they want to take a fight. They have a really good ward on the higher ground. They're going to be cautious. They group up because they're going to jump in with the silence and the chain control. Natty Narwhal's going to be bursting down. Another Weaver as well. Banished for the last second. Is it going to be enough to get the time lapse out? Looks like Nezfir just escapes on a slither of health, but Empire take a fight in a choke point where they have the high ground ward, and you see how difficult it is for X3 to combat that.
Oh, the Titan sliver again for the... It's another one of those games, though, where the offlaner on the losing side is just holding on to so much gold. Shigaret clearly wants to have the BKB available, but honestly, when you're at that point, I feel like the physical damage is just going to be...
Jump in, retrograde. Trying to pull up the Underlord simultaneously. James, he's on the Treant Protect in the tree line. Soloing down one of the valuable supports that offers a lot of the control, but meanwhile, retrograde, he does lose his first life, X3. They need to play off the back of the buybacks. Maybe with a numbers advantage, they can turn this fight back around. Overgrowth in the middle, but the chain control onto Natty Narwhal. He actually has an opportunity to get the slide and get out, and they're taking a fight into the Firestorm, so Nesvi is looking to clean up. Gets the time lapse off of the last second. Retrograde still has his Titanic as well, but he's got to be cautious. Retreating away. They don't have BZZ to be able to pump up the Tiny. Oh no, what is that? Retrograde back to fighting shape. Combos out. Bye-bye Ember. And now he's going to turn towards the Weaver next. But a banishment to hold him back. Retrograde a couple more right clicks and they'll get him in the end. So X3, I mean, it comes at a grave cost. It might even come at the cost of your Weavers. Nesvi, Sakuchi survives to the western side. He's going to move into charge though, but the Visage ends the fight off the back of a triple kill. They do what he can. A last ditch attempt to hope for a decent fight with some numbers advantage, but it will not matter. Even without the Tiny, these towers are starting to fall. Throne is now exposed, and yeah, this should be all she wrote.
Sure. Yeah, they're going to fight until the bitter end, as is tradition. But even BZZ just right-clicking away like an absolute beast. He's my MVP. Just always in the right position.
Kill them all! Get them all! No, I 100% agree. I think BZZ played... Oh, do we want to say out of his mountain? I was very, very impressed with BZZ and his positioning through the early game. And I think not only that, you mentioned James and his involvement for the laning phase, but I also think just what he was able to do in general with recognizing his role through the early game, just like following the less track, because they knew like early on, I think it can be a bit awkward depending on farm getting on top of it instantly.
Break. Okay, that's fine too. Offlane Viper for Enigma, and it is a mid-tiny like we were expecting towards the beginning of the game. So
keep giving me these battles.
I'm cycling between the vision just to see if they have... Okay, they see each other.
Well, they don't have Puck down here, so it's a 4-on-5. Currently, it's favoring Empire. A lot of damage on Nesvi. The carry on X3 and 1 more Soul Assumption. We'll give the first blood over to Empire, and well, Sharslu. They do not deal with the time. So they do not deal with the Puck. We've got more action breaking out.
You don't have dive either on
BZZ. Dead, yeah.
The other thing...
Oh, you put Fairy Fire.
Yeah, I don't know about that. The other thing is, right, like the Monkey King is a core, and the Tiny is a real right-clicking core, and the Enigma is a real late-game core, because how are they actually punishing you?
Do you think they win late on X3? I don't think they have a hope late game. I don't think you do
against an Enigma?
Yeah, well, you got BZZ is going to die again. So this, again, is definitely the big thing for X3, this top lane. I think you're fine with the Enigma. Your Puck's going to be pretty much untouched. He should be able to get level 20.
Yeah. That's why the Treant was such a good pick. They're probably even going to kill SMN here.
That they will. Giving more levels to Shash, though, and he might be able to do a bit of damage to Nesfir if he wants to. Doesn't have the greatest resources on Shash, though, so I wonder if he's just going to look to reset, surely.
Yeah, I mean, especially against a Monkey King, right? He's got Mischief. If you're good with your timings, you're going to be...
They get lucky. Top or bottom. Bottom again for squad. This is huge. Just going to look to rotate top with this. Viper's going to be an immense amount of pain. Gets the Viper Strike at least out onto BZZ. And the damage over time's not going to be enough. And meanwhile, bottom lane, they get another kill as well into the Pugna. BZZ will tick out in the end, but they're diving Nesfir. Shashlo and James combined together. Unable to get the tree dance off. A TP is going to come through for Natty Narwhal. There's a big rotation for Shashlo. Protected enough. And he should be able to get out of harm's way. Familiar's drop. Natty Narwhal still going to continue the chase. Can he close the distance? Doesn't have... Well, now with the Grave Chill, does not have the movement speed advantage, but the Avalanche is back up. And he also gets the assistance from Nesfi.
Towards where the Spectre is as well, because if you don't, she hasn't even skilled the Horn, but she can, and then just instantly join and make what you thought was an outnumber into absolutely not that. So here we go, top side, but have a look at this. The Observer would place down. I think Natty Narwhal actually outmaneuvered it though, so they're not 100% sure that he's coming up here. It'll still cost him the Pugner, but Retrograde, he's the main target that you want.
See if they're going to be able to blow him up. You'd hope to be able to toss him back to the black hole, but they're unable to do so. Still is able to land the ultimate. Oh no, the Tree Protector! He ran into the black hole, so they weren't able to get the counter. So in the end, a 2-for-2 across the map as the Phoenix goes down bottom as well. And now Nesfi, sensing a sign of weakness, Natty Narwhal's going to jump the squad puck as well. Trying to join underneath the safety of the tower. Waiting Roof buying up a little bit of space as well. But Natty Narwhal, one more right click, secures the kill. And now they're going to turn their attention to the Sharslow. He's got the Familiars back up, ready to rock and roll, but it will not matter. As a Tiny flexing his muscles, showing how much his burst can really prove to be an issue. But they don't have a way to deal with the Supernova. One more right click and they actually find the kill. So X3, they're not even done just yet. Natty Narwhal has still got enough mana for the combination, getting the Tree Protector. Now they've got the break for the Spectre as well. It's 5 go down on Empire, and X3 are able to convert with their blink time.
Doesn't feel like he's been punished at all, and almost up to level 12, so he's going to have the stronger Familiars. He nearly has the ready.
Narwhal, he's going to be in trouble. The burn damage coming through the Sunray. All of a sudden, it's maxed out on BZZ. Can they get the DD? Not going to be the case.
To be able to counter that.
He is really farmed on Enring.
Yeah.
This Enigma is... close to the Tiny's net worth, which you were saying, I guess KDA is not looking good for the Tiny as top lane. Sharslow should be able to solo kill SMN. Gem's going to step in to offer some assistance. Back to bottom we go. Natty Narwhal's in. Now with the Black Hole follow-up. Oh, beautifully done. The 1-2 punch that they've got going at the moment with the Tiny and the Enigma. We're not done, though. Top lane, Tree Protector's going to go down. I don't believe Sharslow can get the kill onto the Viper, especially with...
Natty Narwhal will quickly clear out this mid lane, but he's actually getting gone on by this combination. Of course, the Phoenix with the Sunray, able to do a ton of damage against the Tiny, and yeah, it's the perfect fight to look to connect through to on the Spectre. Lane. He actually comes back towards top.
SMN.
Yeah, just another free kill.
Alright, there you go. Retrograde gets involved with a HP. It didn't even go for the spell pump as well. Retrograde. Sunray's out.
Easy.
Now with a bonus heal. Nah, they're not going to be able to kill the Spectre. You got to get out. You got to get out on X3, but the coil is going to lock him into the middle of the fight. BZZ is going to try and find an angle to drop the Supernova as well. Viper's going to turn his attention to bring it down. A defensive use of the Overgrowth as well. Make sure there is no opportunity as X3 will crumble under the teamfight ultimates one after another. They all end up falling as Squad will finish the fight off the back of the triple kill, and now Empire is just looking for that last component. So if they can stall this out for the next tournament, Enring actually trying to bring down Squad with the Aegis. It's got the black hole, so it's got to commit it, but Squad blinks out. Black hole for what? And now the Enigma killed off. They're not even going to get a kill. They will not even get a kill as Natty Narwhal's chased down as well.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, he's gonna Wook. Oh no. Alright, well, no Wukongs and maybe no.
And he thinks he can't overgrowth. He thinks he can't overgrowth. TP.
Natty Narwhal's gonna jump in. Okay, blows up the Phoenix. Very nicely done, Tiny. Seeing a window where he's able to get one pick off to start the fight.
Not too bad, not too bad. Look to try and take out these Familiars, but won't be too
alone. Spectre, keep in mind, they didn't give the Aegis over to Retrograde. He's going to stand his ground to try and man-fight. It's a lot of damage to start, but as soon as the BKB comes out, Nesfi is going to be fine. Dire, can you turn this around? James is going to consider Blink in the middle with the Overgrowth, but doesn't require it, as now they're on to Natty Narwhal. Avalanche to buy some time for the blink to come up, but the damage over time will prevent this. As Sharshlo secures the double, is up to an no. One last fight, it feels like. Enigma, can he get a crazy black hole? The ultimates are on cooldown for Empire. So they're just playing off the raw power in regards to the net worth lead. But Sharshlo just rips apart the Tiny, and he does not have a buyback for this defense.
They're just not playing together. I mean, Enrink was on defense duty at that point in time, and you've got a Tiny sitting down on the low ground.
Phase shift instantly, now the Sunray once again. So the damage, it's minimal at best. They get
Where's
no
the teamwork, Ares?
No, it's not there. It's not being shown. Like, Viper's trying to split. He's trying to cut the wave, but they've got creeps inside.
He's got a treant following.
Nesfear's going to try and target the backline, but he's got no control. Phoenix just dives to one side, a BKB, but they are just running them across the map. He'll TP out, it will not matter, and that is GG. Empire.
What's that?
No, I don't know. I don't want to call you out. That's it. I don't want to call you out, so I'm just being polite.
18 minutes in, it was basically a 50-50 win probability. And they just took like 5 horrendous fights over and over again on X3. There's a reason that you were going for BKBs instead of something that was able to keep you out on the map and continue farming like the Echo Saber. But they just did.
Right.